All right, what up, everybody? Welcome to Boxing Live TV, man. Um, so we want to do a quick reaction to the Shakur Stevenson fight last night, man. The first fight in a while. We want to know what everybody think on, on his performance. Everybody grade him and let us know what you think about how he did. So JD, you want to go first? You want to talk about this?
I give him an A. I feel like it was a pretty good fight. What I was most impressed with from Shakur is his mental adjustment. As a young fighter, he saw that the headshots weren't going to take Felix out of there, and ultimately in the 6th round, he made that transition to realizing that if I do some body work, I'll get him out of there. And as everybody saw, he whacked him with some nice body work that got him out of there in the 6th. Overall, man, I think he did an awesome job, man. I'm proud of him, for, being kind of a trailblazer and, and being willing to hop back in the ring and sort of lead the way to bring boxing back, to mainstream media. I'm impressed with him as a young man at 22 years old, even with his post-fight conference that he did, to having the Black Lives Matter shirt on, and speaking on how, he's now about to be ready to go out and, engage in social justice with the rest of his people, now that he doesn't have to worry about, testing positive for COVID leading up to the fight. But overall, man, I think he did a good job, man. I'm impressed. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight more in the future. He's only a 22-year-old, 14-0. So I think Andre Ward, Jay Prince, and everybody who's a part of his team, they're doing a good job of bringing him along slowly. And I think
he with Bob Aaron too, ain't he?
Yeah. He's a part of all of them. He's with Bob Aaron, Top Rank, but I know his management team, man. He's got a hell of a management team, man. From SOG to Bud Crawford to I think Jay Prince as well.
He loaded.
So he got the right OGs, ready to lead the way to him, lead the way for him. Or should I say?
Most definitely, man. Let me get my quick response, Jay, if you don't mind. Then you slide in.
No, you good.
All right, so basically, man, honestly, man, to keep it 1,000 with you, this is my first time really sitting out watching Shakur Stevenson, man, honestly, because I need to do better with the lower weight classes of below light welterweight, and even the 135, I even watched them, but he 130, so I was very impressed, man, and I was impressed with Felix, man, my man from Puerto Rico, that how he brought the fight to him. I mean, I think he did what he made it a fight now. And I remember, if you remember the post fight his post fight interview, Shakur's, he said, man, he felt like he'd been hit more than he'd been hit in the other fight.
Mm-hmm.
And my man was talking about, man, looking at the press, the copyright numbers, man, it don't look like it. He was like, well, it felt like it, So my man made his presence known. He dug in his chest and he pressed the action. And But Stevenson's, man, he did what he had to do. I mean, he makes it up real well. He pretty much did what he wanted to do throughout the fight, and he put that body, he put the work in. He was body head banging and switching it up and being slick, and then bring it to him at the same time. And I think that it ultimately paid dividends. He caught him with that body shot in the 6th, and I think it was a very good fight. I mean, as far as him coming back and just getting some tread on his tires, I think it was good for him,
Yeah.
And that's pretty much my take. And you took the word right out of my mouth, man. I like that he was active, man. He talked about what was going on in the climate, and spoke on the things, and he's named after Tupac Shakur, from what I hear, and he's from New Jersey, Brick City, man. Shout out to Brick City.
Mm-hmm.
I got family up there, so. I'm very impressed with him, and I will be watching him in the future, man. I'm a fan, so I like him, and looking forward to seeing him, man. Plus, his team is, like you just said, immaculate, man. I mean, Bud, you got SOG, you got OG Jay Prince, and, so I really like that. So Jay, you gonna take it home, man. Give us your take on it, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm glad he stepped up, and this is one of my biggest complaints about boxing is taking advantage of opportunities like we were talking about before. When there's a dead time in the summer, that's when you should be trying to get new fans and putting on events. Specifically to Shakur Stevenson, he's looking like the real deal. I think one of the markers of somebody who has the potential to be that next level of talent is how you know, deal with guys at different weight classes. I don't know. I wasn't aware of it until I kind of looked further into it that it was his first fight at 130. So this is a lightweight fight, which, you know, if we know who's around in and around that division.
Mm-hmm.
You got Lomachenko, Devontae,
Teofimo.
you got a lot of people. So I don't know whether he's going to go back down and defend his title, or because he's a bigger featherweight, and he's so young, whether he's filling out that frame at such a pace, he's going to have to stay around 130, 135. But as far as the actual fight, I was impressed. I always, you know, when you see young boxers come up, you like to gauge everything. And from a few fights I've seen of him, you know, I question his power a bit, but he knocked out a guy to the body that had never been knocked out. He had one loss on his record. The talent level is a bit suspect just because the guy had never fought anybody outside of Puerto Rico. So this was his first time on the mainland, mainland, I guess you should say. So he did what he was supposed to do. But I mean, the one thing about not having any fans, you hear all the oohs and ahs of a fighter, and boy, he was in pain. That was a hellacious body shot. I like the way he dealt with the pressure. I like the way he kind of was able to fight inside. That's really just going to polish his defense and turn his offense and turn him into a counterpuncher, but who can also push the action. And I think showing that versatility and rehearsing that, man, and just with somebody, let's be honest, who wasn't supposed to be much of a threat, but you're still on that big stage. I think sky's the limit with that kid. And so I'm hoping for the best for him, and I'm really interested to see if he's going to stay at 130. But, man, I don't know whether that was just a typical hard body shot or whether it was just the fact that there were no fans there, so it appeared harder.
It appeared harder.
Because
hey, bro, it sounded like a sound effect. That sounded like a body punch sound effect.
Man, I'm pretty sure Caraballo would have preferred some crowd noise pumped in, so we didn't have to hear him heaving on the ground, because that was a monstrous shot from what I could see. So shout out to him, man. I'm looking forward to watching him fight even more. He's showing me different wrinkles. He's showing me he can be, you know, a defensive savant, and then he's just displayed his offensive prowess. So I'm looking forward to it. Love how he mixed it up, going body head. I think he was having a little bit of trouble at the heavier weight, getting him out of there with punches to the head. So he went downstairs and jackpot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bingo.
No.
Yeah, man. You know, I like dude, man. I like him. I'm a fan.
Yeah, he's a likable kid,
really,
man, for sure.
Yeah, I really, you know, and where we at? So it was something else. It was something else I thought was dope. You know, and you could tell it's the climate of the world and everything real quick. The two commentators, man, I know what it was. Tim Bradley, well, I guess it was 4. Tim Bradley, I know it was Andre Ward.
I don't know who Andre Ward.
Okay. They brought up
Bradley.
They brought up a good point. It was 2 guys that wasn't Andre Ward and Tim Bradley. You know what I'm saying? And I'm assuming, you know, I'm assuming they probably was white. It sounded like they were white guys, but the point I'm making about that was that they talked about how Shakur Stevenson said he want to be the best, he want to be the biggest. You know what I'm saying? He want to make the most money. He want to be the next big star, the biggest star, or whatever. And one was saying that that he didn't want to do it by being a villain, which is what, you know, a lot of black fighters, you have to be the villain. It seems, you know, Mayweather was obviously, you know, he was a villain, and a lot of people tune in and want to see him lose. And so, and I can't even lie, I was one of those people tuned in, you know, but I like him also. I like to watch him fight. I respect his, you know, his fighting capabilities. But he embraced that villain role, you know. And Shakur didn't want to have to be the villain. The other guy was saying that, well, it'd be hard for him being a black guy, you know what I'm saying? And then he was like, and the other guy kind of was saying, well, he if he just be himself and do what he had to do and be himself and stay true to himself or whatever. And the other guy kind of went, well, you know what? it's not him. He's not a problem. It's the system. And I just thought that was dope. That was change.
Yeah,
That was people calling that on live TV, and it wasn't black. It wasn't any black person because they say black people complaining. It was two people. I don't know if they're white or black, but I don't think it was Andre Ward or Tim Bradley.
It definitely wasn't. But no, I definitely caught that, and I'm glad that was addressed because so many times we talked about Terrence Crawford or Spence.
Right.
If they were, of a different background, the fight would be, or at least one of them were.
Be much bigger. Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, that Canelo Triple G fight was pulled out of thin air. I don't think anybody was necessarily calling for it. But Triple G can't just because, they needed a big name and Canelo was going to be that guy who they thought they could beat. But if you look at it, I routinely say, there's an inequity in boxing where, you get a lot of fighters from state-sponsored that have state-sponsored boxing in the Olympics, and they're really taken care of, coddled, and to be put in the best position to succeed. And when boxing in America is a little bit more, you usually got to get it from the bottom, get it on your own. I mean, we do have, an Olympic boxing team, but it's loosely organized. It's not something that the country gets behind like other countries do. And so for that, you see, the harder way, it's harder for boxers to get clout unless, you have a certain background. I don't know if anybody remembers Mike Lee, but he wasn't that good. And he was actually getting a lot of pub, but I think I seen him fight live a while back. It just wasn't impressive for the Subway commercial he got, for the pub he was getting. And I think it's a lot of times it's difficult to be marketable nowadays because at one point in time, black fighters were an anomaly. So we were a draw. And I think people are, especially in the boxing world, there was a fatigue about seeing black fighters dominate, which I think also, gave some rise to the UFC. It filled a void where, same thing with basketball, when it was being perceived as a black league, so they were forced to wear suits and different things like that. They were trying to keep that urban element out of the sport. And I think boxing as international is a reflection of the world, kind of. The black fighters, especially African-American fighters, even when it came to Olympics, whether it was Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather being cheated, and in my estimation, Errol Spence being cheated. When I say cheated, unfair judging, clearly beating guys and not getting their just due. And I think that transfers financially once they turn pros.
Man, I think overall, I mean, I hope that, people can get behind Shakur Stevenson. Because like you said, Q, it's true. We don't want, he shouldn't have to be
you should have to be an
asshole.
Guy.
He shouldn't have to be a bad guy or an asshole for people to pay attention, man. I kind of hope that, we can kind of get behind him and kind of prop him up, in a good light, across America. But to Jay's point, he's right. He's definitely right. Because to be honest, like, again, even when we passed by Spence that time, man, shoot, if Jay ain't recognized Spence, I don't think anybody recognized Spence at that point, because in America, I wouldn't say that they don't prop up amateur boxing like that. So a lot of these fighters, we really don't see them until they get to that professional level. And so now when you get to that professional level, everybody's trying to figure out how to prop themselves up, and get that notoriety. But, I kind of hope that, Shakur can be true to himself and not have to engage in no villain antics, to get people to pay attention to him.
Most definitely, man. He seemed like a good kid, man. And you shouldn't have to go to all that tap dance, man, just to make people support you, man. But my point is, it was dope that it was called out, and it wasn't even called out by us this time, So I like that, and that's progress, Even though one guy seemed like he was trying to push it off to the wayside. Man was like, no, it's not him, it's the system.
Yeah.
So just food for thought, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what it is, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all destroy that like button, man. Subscribe to us and check us out, man. We gonna get better at this, man. So y'all keep rocking with us and watch us grow, man.
Boxing Vibes TV.
Boxing Vibes TV, baby, 1,000, man, 1,000, baby. Y'all be cool.
Yeah.
Till next time. Yep.
All right.